Welcome back. In part 2, whenever the action chip is clicked, we'll display a bottom sheet. Inside the action chip's onPressed callback, let's create a new method called showProviderBottomSheet. We'll move all the bottom sheet code into this method. To open a bottom sheet, we'll use Flutter's showModalBottomSheet method. It takes the current context, and inside the builder callback, we'll build the bottom sheet's UI. For now, let's return a simple text widget as a placeholder. Once we've confirmed the bottom sheet is working correctly, we'll build the actual UI. Let's run the app and tap on the action chip. Something's not right. The bottom sheet isn't showing up. The issue is that Material app is currently inside our screen widget. Widgets like Modal Bottom Sheet rely on the correct build context, so this structure can cause problems. To fix this, let's cut Material app from here and move it into Run app, wrapping our multi-chat screen. Now, let's remove the extra brackets and run the app again. Perfect. The bottom sheet is now showing up correctly. Let's set show drag handle to true to display a drag handle at the top of the bottom sheet. As you can see, it's now visible. Next, let's add a rounded top border using rounded rectangle border with a 20 pixel radius. Wrap the text widget with a safe area to keep the content within the safe display area. Let's run the app. Next, let's wrap the text widget with a column and set main axis size to main axis size MIN. Now, let's change the text to choose provider. We'll add some padding around it. Align it to the left using an align widget. And apply the title medium text style from the current theme. Looks good for now. Now let's create each LLM provider using a list tile. We'll add a circle avatar as the leading widget and place the icons.auto_awesome icon inside it. Set the icon size to 18. And use the onPrimary container color from the current theme. For the title, let's use Gemini, and for the subtitle, Google's AI model. We'll also add an OnTap callback, which we'll implement later. Great! Our provider item is now ready. Next, let's add a trailing check _circle icon and set its color to the theme's primary color. Now, let's create a new directory called Models. Inside it, we'll create an enum to store all the supported LLM providers. For now, our enum will include 4 providers: Gemini, Claude, GPT, and Grok. We'll add more providers later if needed. Now, instead of creating each provider manually, let's loop through LLM provider .values using a for loop. This will automatically display all the available providers from our enum. Next, let's replace the static Gemini text with the correct AI model names. We'll create a helper method called _provider_title that uses a switch expression to return the appropriate title based on the selected LLM provider. And then use it inside the text widget. Similarly, let's create another helper method called _provider_subtitle to return the correct description for each AI model. and use it inside the subtitle text widget. Finally, it's time to update the leading icon. We'll create one more helper method called _provider icon that returns an icon data based on the selected LLM provider. Then, we'll use it inside the icon widget, so each AI model displays its own icon automatically. Now we need to show the trailing check icon only for the selected LLM provider. For now, let's set Gemini as the default provider and store it in a variable called _selected_provider. Next, let's check whether the current provider matches _selected_provider. We might think of declaring an isSelected variable inside the for loop, but you'll notice it throws an error. That's because we can't declare a local variable directly inside Flutter's widget collection. Instead, let's use map. The values property gives us all the providers from our enum, and map converts each provider into a list tile. Inside the map callback, we can create the isSelected variable and return a list tile for each provider. Now, based on the isSelected value, we'll either show the check _circle icon or set it to null. Finally, the spread operator inserts all those list tile widgets into our column. Great! The check icon is now shown only for the selected provider. Now, let's update the selected provider when the user taps on a list tile. Inside onTap, we'll use setState to update the _selected provider value. Once the value is updated, we'll close the bottom sheet using navigator.pop. If we run the app, selected provider changes, but the action chip still displays the old icon and title. Let's fix that by replacing the static values with an _provider title with selected provider for the title. _provider icon with selected provider for the leading icon. Now, whenever we select a different provider, both the icon and the title update automatically. Now, it's time to read the text entered by the user. We need to handle this in two places: when the user presses the Enter key using onSubmitted and when they tap the Send icon button. Since both actions perform the same task, let's move the logic into a separate method called _ask and call it from both onSubmitted and the icon buttons onPressed. This avoids duplicate code and makes our code easier to maintain. Now, let's create the _ask method using VS Code's quick fix context menu. Inside _ask method, we'll get the user's prompt using _search controller text trim and store it in a variable called prompt. That's all for now. If you don't want to miss part 3, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.